want to have a little rant today about why I don't think you need to find your purpose. And I'm joined by a very cuddly, very demanding Harry today. So you don't need to live, you need to find your purpose. Where do I want to start with this? Firstly is what in English grammar is known as nominalization. And that is the grammatical process of taking something that isn't a noun and turning it into a noun. Okay? A really good test of this is the thing you're talking about, sorry cat, is the thing that you're talking about something that you can put in a wheelbarrow? Right? If not, then it's not a noun. And if it's not a noun, if it can't go in a wheelbarrow, then it's not something that you can just find. Okay, it's not something that you fell out of your handbag or dropped behind the back of the sofa, and if you just search hard enough, you'll find it. Purpose for me is a process. It's a way of living, not a thing to live. So I find this idea of I have to find my purpose exhausting, and it fills me with like pressure and dread, and like all of my perfectionism comes online when I think about having to find my purpose. Like there was one thing that I was meant to do with my life, and if I don't figure it out, my life will have been meaningless and worthless. I don't like it. I don't like this idea that we're all meant to be finding our purpose. What I do love instead, especially as like I'm going through a personal process at the moment of finding a way to accept that climate crisis is already here, that our way of life as we know it is crumbling and may well collapse in the not too distant future, as scary as that is. And it really propelled me into this kind of like state of hopelessness for a while. I'm like, well, if the world is ending, and it's the really dramatic version of that, then what's the point? Like, why am I doing any of this? Why do I bother talking to you today? Why do I work? Like, why? What is the point? And I'm slowly coming through that and out to the other side, which is I don't think there is an inherent point or meaning or purpose to anything in particular. I'm reading Jeremy Lent's The Web of Meaning at the moment, and he really talks about like life's purpose, it seems, is to resist entropy, to resist the natural inclination of things to fall apart and drift apart and collapse. So there's something inherent about life, at least for a brief period of time in our own lifespans, where we're meant to resist that collapse. So life, I think, seems to have an inherent inclination to something. But what does that mean for me? And I think where I'm landing is I don't think there is an inherent point to things. I think I get to make it up. I think I get to decide for myself what's meaningful and what the point of things are. It has me ask, who in my life is meaningful? What do I enjoy doing? How might I make a contribution to the world? So for me, that this idea of like living with purpose, living with intention, living with presence, feels so much more expansive. Like I feel so much more possibility in it. And the idea that I might get to just make this up. He's just persistent today, aren't you, buddy? Aren't you? Yeah. You say hi? There's so much possibility. If I get to make it up, then I get to use my imagination and I get to be creative. There's no right answer, that I get to figure that out for myself. And that figuring it out is a process. It evolves, it changes. And it's not fixed. I can make it up, and then I can change my mind, and I can do something different. It feels so liberating, the idea of living with purpose, that I get to decide for myself rather than finding my purpose. So I'd be really curious to hear how this lands for you today. How do you go about living with purpose? What is it like for you to imagine that you don't have to find a purpose, a single definition for your life? You get to make it up every day if you want. I feel quite excited by that. So I think right now my purpose is to give this guy all of the cuddles. And I'll see you next time. Bye.